Welcome back, guys, to another YouTube video. As you saw, we've been working on the boat, and that's exactly what we're gonna keep doing. So in our last video, we got this thing out on the water and it was running great, but we had no interior. So in this video, we're gonna be making the boat interior. So check it out. What I had to do, though, to do this is I had to make a little purchase of a sewing machine. So I got this wonderful little sewing machine right here for 200 bucks off Facebook Marketplace. I drove about 3 hours after work and I got home at like 1 a.m. Went all the way to St. Louis for this thing, but it's a Singer 111W151, and so if you search up the manual for this, it's literally for car upholstery, and I will tell you that it does great. So I spent way too much money on a whole bunch of materials. I got my yarn, my thread, my foam, my plywood, everything to redo this boat interior. So I've done already a couple panels just to get a feel for it so I don't look like a complete fool in front of you guys, and let me show you what I've done so far. So this one right here was my very first ever one I did. As you can see, I don't have it stapled down yet because I'm waiting for my staple gun to come in. Amazon's supposed to be delivering it sometime between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. tonight so I can get these stapled up. But as you can see, if I was to staple this, I'd obviously loop this corner around and pull it tight and take out all this top wrinkles. So it's looking really good. Not bad for my first time ever doing the stitching. And then moving on to my next piece right here. This one as well, same process, not stapled down. So once I get it stapled down, I can pull all this extra slack out of it, but I think this one's gonna fit up really nice as well. And this one, my buddy Deacon brought his staple gun over, but only enough staples to do one panel, so we did this one last night and we got it all finished up. So we got our nice mesh, we got our staple hider, and as you can see, there's no slack in it at all. Super well done with the piping on the sides. So this is looking pretty darn sweet. And so if I continue, we even went further and we did our fourth piece so far now, and now we're getting fancy with it. So this is a backrest. These are all butt pads, so they're all going to be sleek and smooth with just piping. Well, this is the backrest, and the backrest I'm going to stitch. So we did 3 stitches in this one because if you look at the old pieces, they had 2 stitches. And I used a line in the middle to center my 2 stitches, but then I'm like, what if I just stitch that line as well? So I ended up with this. And as you can see, this is gonna rope around this foam over here really nicely. So this piece is just gonna go right over top of it. It's gonna be wonderful, but we're swapping out the plywood underneath of these, so we gotta do that still. So you just have the cover. So let's start on our next piece, and you guys can come along and see how, honestly, it's pretty simple. It's not bad at all. Just learning the machine's the hardest part, which watch a couple YouTube videos, read a couple manuals, and I think you guys will be fine. But $200 sewing machine, and then doing this saves you a ton of money because somebody's jamming going by. But upholstery work isn't cheap, and so doing this has been really fun because it hasn't been that hard, and it's just really, really rewarding. So come along with me as we start to stitch up some panels. So you guys might be wondering what we do to get these beautiful results. Well, you actually de-stitch the old piece completely. So yeah, once you get it apart, then you just lay it on your new material and you cut it out. So we got this piece right here. We're gonna make another one of those pieces I just showed with the stitches in the middle for the other side. So we got this piece, we got its outer border piece right here, and then the piping, which is gonna go between the two. So let's head over to the sewing machine and stitch it up. What I'm doing here is I got the soft side down so it can slide, and I got the soft side up against the foot. So this needle is a moving needle, so it goes down, moves back, goes up, moves down. So the foot is stationary, so I think that's a dog foot down here. That's what pulls the material kind of through. It kind of glides through actually. So we got our center mark right here, center mark here, center mark here. And I'm just gonna start with this. Okay, here we go. Real deal. He's so good at turning the material for me, so all I have to worry about is literally just making sure I hold my material where it needs to be. Yeah. Professional pivoter is what we call it. So whenever you sew, you need your professional pivoter. License. Yeah, make sure they're licensed though. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it's done. So we started in the middle here. We did a lock stitch, went all the way down, lock stitched it in. Did a lock stitch here, went all the way down, and lock stitched it in. And that way we just started in the middle where we knew we had all of our center mark lines lined up. And once you're done, it looks super ugly, but if you flip it around, you pop out all these seams. Kind of tedious at first. You end up with something like this. So, oh yeah, that looks amazing. Let's see how we did with our centering. If you ask me, I think the stitches are pretty well centered, so I'm happy with that. I'll take that any day. So now what we need to do is we're doing new backs. We're doing new plywood to the backs of the foam. We're reusing the foam, but new plywood on the back, and then obviously putting this over top. So we haven't cut out the pieces for these pieces of foam, so we're gonna redo these. They're not terrible, but since we already redid the bottom wood, we're gonna redo the top ones just for maintenance because it is kind of thing. It's starting to split and everything, so when it has this, you look, see the cracks, crack. It was starting to get pretty rotten. So we want to let this, we want to have this upholstery job that we're doing last a really long time. So we're gonna replace the plywood as well, so my Mariah can look beautiful for a long time. Because I'm putting it in the garage after this. It's not sitting outside. If it's not in this garage, it's in the shed. If it's not in the shed, it's in this garage. So it'll be UV and rain and like any kind of elements. It'll just be nice and garage kept like how it should have been. But the previous owner let it sit outside, and then this happens. Look at that. That's insane. That is disgusting, and it cracks when you step on it. That's ugh. Good thing we're redoing this. So now I'm moving on to cutting out these two old boards. We're just gonna refresh them real quick so they're all nice and pretty. Beautiful. Nice work. So I just swapped over this foam right here onto the new boards. Got this one done as well. Nice new boards. And what I'm using here is this 3M high strength 90. So they got like a 77, they got a 90, and they got some other number. I just went with the strongest strength one because I guess I never want to get these off again. But yeah, you can choose whatever one. 77 would work good too, but that's just what I'm using. I'll leave all the links to all this stuff that I've been using in the video in the description below if you guys want to go pick up some of these things. But last night, unfortunately, it's supposed to arrive between 7 to 10, and it ended up not showing up until today, the next day, because it got dropped back off at the facility. The guy was just like, yeah, I'm done with my routine today, I guess. So here's my staple gun, and we'll see how she does. So what I'm doing here is I'm just tracing out this black piece of little backing that I'm going to put over top of the plywood to hide the plywood. So the air one would probably work good, but I saw Milwaukee had this, so I went and bought it, and I absolutely love this one. Way easier to adjust than adjusting a air compressor to the right PSI for it, because the other one I bought was kind of cheap and it didn't have any adjustments on it, so it was all from the compressor. And then this one is designed for more like carpet and stuff. It's a lot bigger of a nail, so it's harder to go into the plywood. It kind of sticks up and it's not as pretty, but this is adjustable, cordless, and let me show you. You don't even have to press hard. And so here it is. Check it out. Boom. Perfect staple every single time, no matter the placement. I might have just jammed it up. And just a function feature I found out is right when it gets low, like 3 more staples, it stops, so you don't look like an idiot trying to staple without any staples in it. That's some smart technology right there. So this will be in the description down below if you guys want it, with the staples that go with it, so you don't have to source them. if we did this right, it should be perfectly even, which it is. So, heck yeah. After a lot of de-stitching, de-stapling, jigsawing, sewing, stapling, cutting, stretching vinyl, we finished our last piece for the bow area. So let's go put it in. Ugh. Shoes off in the boat. No, not yet. Almost. Okay, this straight side back, curved side in. It sits right in here like that. And then finishing touch. This is gonna go right there. Oh yeah. Holy smokes, guys. Look at that. We actually finally have a comfy front section to the boat. Oh yeah! I could get used to this. That was a big project. So, I have some detailed vinyl coming in for these pieces here. So there's three. There's two long ones here, one short one here, and what I'm doing is I'm going to do them obviously in all white within white piping, but right around this part of it I'll have it slanted with a nice stitched white foam in a stripe pattern, so it'll be a little bit wavy. You'll see when we work on that, but for now this is all this video is going to entail. It was just the front bow area. Our next project is tackling, building, and framing a big sun pad back there and a bench seat. And then obviously we're just going to throw in a captain's chair and the passenger. We're going to have two captain's chairs, one for the driver, one for the passenger. So it's coming along really nicely. Check out this front end. Holy smokes. This was an insane project, but I've enjoyed every single part of it and learned a ton, and I'm really good at upholstering. I feel like I make things look decent. This does not look bad. Not bad for my first time ever upholstering, for sure. And sewing. Never sewed before either, so big learning curve, and I think it was well worth it.
Looks good, huh?
Heck yeah. They are not perfectly in their places yet because I don't have them screwed in, but once they're perfectly in their places and everything's lined up perfect, it'll look amazing, but not bad at all. So that will be a little wrap to working on the boat. I have it full of stuff right now because we had to get mom's car in because this weekend I was actually leaving, so I stopped working on some stuff for a little because we went to the Woodward Dream Show. That thing was amazing. If any of you like cars and like car cruising, you've got to go to it. It's honestly pretty amazing. But yep, I'm back now, and I've already started on the rear and I've been filming it, so hopefully soon come out with that video as well once I do some finishing touches to get it all complete. And yeah, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, because we got a lot more like this, and we're getting a lot of work done. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.